Hello, Factorio fans. Fenton here. If things look a bit different to you, it's because my new 1440 monitor arrived today. So it's possible that various things look odd, or at least different. I'm hoping that won't have a massive effect on what you're seeing on YouTube, but it's certainly having a massive effect on what I'm seeing on my screen. Holy moly. It's slightly curved and it's freaking me out. It's like that opening section of Terranigma where you're sort of under the ground and sort of mode 7. Anyway, thanks for the support. Please continue to do the old likes and the comments and subscribes. I tidied some stuff up off stream. Did I? I just did this, I think. I don't really recall. Someone asked why not beacon these instead of just putting more down. Good question, don't know. Does use slightly less electricity doing it like this than the equivalent, but not by much, not by enough to be worried about. Just force a habit, I guess. Just filling the empty space. Just filling the empty space. And then now that the sand chronicles are over, stone comes in, gets crushed into sand, which gets turned into quartz with some water, which gets turned into silicon. This is it. This works. So I can actually do this now. That was wrong. I missed slightly there. It's fine. There we go. Sand chronicles are over. Begun. The plastic chronicles have. To make plastic, you need oil. And oil is a nightmare. Didn't need to get rid of those because we're not building it there. I will try and get the blueprints down into a book that I can share. It is on my to-do list. I'm currently working out the best way because not everything is finished, right? Like, a whole bunch of the train station names don't work. I also don't know how it works with infinity chests in a blueprint if you haven't actually activated them in your save file. So yeah, I'm not sure. Somebody else commented that I'd missed a speed module somewhere, which I don't follow you on that one, I'm afraid. If you've got any more info for me on that, maybe a timestamp or something. All right, we're gonna need to sort out the oil. The problem with the oil is that you need to output all of the oil. All of the oil byproducts. Petroleum turns into... Oh, we should probably request some oil refineries. Crude oil turns into petroleum and things like that. Heavy oil and light oil. There's a couple of schools of thought here. You can have some builds. I mean, let's acknowledge the elephant in the room. For 5,000 tech cards a minute, we need 1.8 million petroleum per minute. Yeah. 72 wagons a minute moving around the base. Now there's lots of ways to think about this. Petroleum gas goes into plastic and sulfur. Plastic is mostly where it's going, according to my calculations. It's 3/4 of it are going into plastic, the other quarter, the other 2/3, 3/4, and the other 2/3. 3/4 of it going into plastic, the other 25% of it going into sulfur. Sulfur is going straight into sulfuric acid as well. There is no other need for sulfur. we don't need the explosives for anything. So some of the crude oil can just be turned straight into sulfur. There's no need to send out petroleum gas in trains, because then that petroleum gas is just being turned into sulfur. We also need heavy oil and light oil in varying quantities for various reasons. Heavy oil will go into lubricant, but really not much at all. Not much lubricant at all is needed. Hardly any, so that's not really worth worrying about. And light oil, I think light oil usage depends on how you're going to make rocket fuel in this mod. There's varying ways to make rocket fuel. You can make it with light oil, you can make it with ammonia and oxygen, or you can make it with hydrogen chloride and oxygen. Oh, you still need the light oil for this. So, if we need such a small amount of lubricant, we should probably maybe think about doing that with coal liquefaction, because coal liquefaction nets you heavy oil anyway. So then we can just turn the excess heavy oil that we get from coal liquefaction into the lubricant that we need. So we need some petroleum gas coming from coal liquefaction, and then the rest of the modules will just be turning all of the crude oil we get directly into petroleum. We don't actually need to output light oil, heavy oil separately. I think possibly in the middle game of Krastorio you might need to do that. You might need the light oil for something. It's a very efficient way to make fuel and rocket fuel. But if we're going to make rocket fuel with ammonia, which we probably will because ammonia is the easiest thing to get, you just use hydrogen and nitrogen from atmospheric condensers. So all you really need to do is just bring the iron plates in and then have a bunch of atmospheric condensers. So the first step of this obviously multi-episode part then is actually, now that I've looked at it, it's actually not bad. We only need one output, and it is going to be the petroleum. And we'll do that now. So we'll do a petroleum module, and then we'll work out how much petroleum that actually gives us, and various things like that. And I'm just randomly clicking around here, as you can see, to buy time. I don't have any rails or train stops or rail signals on my person. Oh, cold. The weather, if you live in the UK, big shout outs to those of you who live in the UK. If you live in the UK, it's very cold this week. I hate to talk about the weather, but you know me. I'm all about the banter. Oil refinery. It's A-sized. And oh, this is the other thing that we can do, is we can think about whether we even need to. If you can turn 100 crude oil into 45 petroleum, or you can turn 100 crude oil and water into 55 petroleum and some byproducts, which you can then also turn into petroleum. Don't see any reason to not do it this way. In Vanilla Factorio, maybe there's an argument to be made there. But what with the advanced chemical plants being as efficient as they are, you really don't need many of these to get stuff sorted. This will do us on its own, and these are kind of a nightmare to beacon because you need so many pipes in and out, but we can sort that by doing stuff like this. Oops. By doing stuff like this and having them in a row, rather than trying to squeeze all the pipage in like that, and then you can at least get the singularity beacons in like that. And that really is all you get. I suppose you could power everything with this. Would that reach? Would that be tileable? That gets you one extra beacon, which might actually be relevant. We'll see. It's neater than I thought it would be. I was worried that it was going to be all over the place. Oh, they'd go in the corners. They'd go in the corners. Yeah, alright, let's go with that. 12,000. Just 100 of these. Just over 100 of these. No, it's fine, because this is going to be the... There's so much to think about here. Sorry, I keep stopping talking because there's so much to think about. Plastic is just coal and petroleum, so there's also an argument to be made to have your plastic on site and just not ship petroleum around. Because with your basic oil processing, you're turning 100 crude oil into... you're turning 100 crude oil into 55 petroleum, 25 heavy oil and 45 light oil. And then you're getting a 40% productivity bonus on that. So then 40% extra heavy oil and light oil. And the heavy oil turns into light oil 4 to 3 ratio, but with 40% bonus, and so on and so on. I mean, I'm not going to do the whole math thing out here for you. So let's just have another look at where the petroleum needs to go. Is there any need to ship it about? It's the plastic bars and the sulfur. The biomass we will need if we eventually want to bung 5,000 military cards a minute into this. But that's going to be like bonus content. That's going to be like stretch goals. So maybe it makes more sense to have some crude oil come in and just be turned straight into plastic, the same way that some crude oil is going to be coming in and turning straight into sulfur. Which means we need one input for crude and one input for coal. So then, and then one module will be, well, some of the modules will be plastic and some of the modules will be sulfur. So let's look at it like that. Let's look at it like that. First thing then, I suppose, is to put an advanced chemical plant down, fully beaconed, and see how many, and I warn you, it's going to be a lot. Warn you, as if you're, somehow offended by large numbers. $80,000 petroleum per minute will do just over 2 belts of plastic. And that's even without the singularity beacons. So let's... I know I keep going backwards and forwards on this. That's because you're watching me work this out live. I have not planned what I'm going to do here in any way, shape or form. How much... So this is only... Yeah, 7/10 of a wagon per minute. The issue is that if you go any higher than like this, if you say 10 of these, 7 wagons per minute, that's one train. One train, basically just shy of one train every minute, with some rounding errors. I wish you could multiply this. Just say 8. So do you want one train of crude oil going in and out every minute? As we say, liquid is very quick to move. It's not like emptying a train like this, which probably would take a decent amount of time. So what did I just say there? 10. 10 of these. Yeah, alright, let's go with 10 of these. Just because 10 is, you know, a nice round number. Whoa, 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 that is not... Oh, that is right. Sorry. I thought it was somehow tiling in some weird way. Alright, 10 of these. I will be shocked here if we need any more than one each of advanced chemical plants doing the... Maybe not even with beacons, can you imagine that? One of these needs to do the heavy oil to light, and then the other needs to do the light oil to petroleum. And then all of the petroleum needs to then go into a... Yeah, so we... Why do I have such a huge problem here working out which one of these this is? We are going to need beacons for this. I don't know why I thought we wouldn't. That was the height of hubris. Unpowered beacons will not be accounted for. Thanks. Thanks for at least letting me know that. So this will produce... I hate doing this bit because this then lies to you about this. So this gives us 1700 light oil. This can use 1400 light oil. So we will need to beacon this a little bit to make sure that we're using enough. So we need to get this as close as we can. Inputs on the top for some reason is how I like it. We're just looking at pure numbers here. We're not... Obviously this is not the build. Too many. Still too many. Far too many. 19? What did we say? 17? 17 and 1702. Okay, so 3. It gives us enough, which will then output 1700. Oh no, wait, this is the other way around. Okay, that's fine. That's still fine. For some reason I thought the inputs would be on the top. 1704 heavy oil will be 1700. Let me start making notes. Let me start making notes here, because this is going to get a bit out of hand. 1789, 90. We'll round that up to 90. 1790 plus the heavy oil we're getting out. Sorry, the light oil we're getting out of here, which is... Oh, that means I have done this bit wrong, because this actually only needs... Start again, start again, start again. I thought the inputs always went in there at the top. It's fine, whatever. 945 heavy oil. So one of these is enough. But we can't go on this 1400 number because we're not going to get that much heavy oil in. But one of these fully beaconed will do 1008. This is also outputting 1700. This is about a 1-to-1 ratio. I think for the purposes of just estimation here, for the number of machines, this is about a 1-to-1 ratio with the productivity, right? Slightly higher. You get more light oil out than you put in. Ever so slightly. So 945, we'll call that 1000 then. So we get 1000 light oil from the heavy oil process, plus the 1700 light oil that we're getting anyway. 2700-ish. So we need this machine to be able to process 2700 light oil. No, we're not going to make it. It's actually not going to work. No, so we're going to need 2 of these regardless. But that's fine. We worked that out at least. Alright. And then all of that petroleum with some coal needs to turn into plastic. So let's get this as close to... I suppose we should try and get this as close to 2,700 as we can so that we can work out how much petroleum we're getting out of it. Oops. There we go. Oh no, wait, it's the light oil I'm looking at. Yeah, there we go. 2,500 petroleum is coming out of there, plus 2,080 coming out of there, so let's say 4,600. So we need another lab making plastic. I don't know why I can never see those. Can I might have to up my UI scale. Where is that interface? That's a bit better, isn't it? I don't know how that affects you on YouTube, but it's a bit better for me. Down there on the YouTubes. 1,300. So 2 of these. Exactly 2 of these. I wonder if I should maybe lay it out like this, so that the petroleum from here comes into here directly, and then maybe the light oil from here can go into these 2 directly, and then just merge it with all of these pipings. That sounds sensible. Alright. So that's it. Those are your ratios-ish. It's not going to go there, is it? Okay. That's not too bad. How much plastic does that get us, is the thing. We've done all of this work now, and then we find out that we're going to need like 15 of these modules. 22,000 plastic per minute-ish. Ish. The calculator says 190. Good God. Good God. That's a lot of plastic. The problem is we can't really do much more than this. Any more than this, we could double all this up, like we've got all the space to double all this up, but we're using so much. I mean, we're bringing coal in. Do we bring in 2 trains of crude oil at a time? The thing is the crude oil will be extremely easy to get. Like, extremely easy. Let me just wander over here and show you how fast we will be able to get crude oil. It might just be that we need to bring in 2 trains at a time, feeding into 1 pipe network. And that a lot of the traffic might just have to be trains full of crude oil. Give my robot dude some time, yeah? He's coming. Any minute now. And these are only going to get more juicy the further out we go. 17 million, 18 million. That one's a small patch, but... This one pump jack on its own can do half of a wagon per minute. And we've not even, you know, done this. to it yet. Now it can do a whole wagon per minute. So yeah, as you can see, I'm not particularly worried about the amount of oil we'll need in stations. I'm worried about the number of trains in the network. So, could double this. $45 plastic. Even 4 of these won't be enough. What else can we do? In my other playthrough, I used matter to make plastic because it was quite efficient, but obviously we're not doing that here. I'm going to have to just double this, I think. I don't think there's any choice here. I can't have 10 of these modules going around. We're going to have to just do some nonsense here. As awful as it sounds. And then I don't necessarily need to double this as long as we can get the crafting speeds just about right. So this is currently crafting speed 67.2. I'd like it to be doubled, but I don't think I'm going to get that done with this. Oh, it was very close. Surprisingly close. 133.2. What did I say? 67.2. Yeah. I'll just double the factories. It would help with it's going to help with pipe throughput as well. Just doing it, literally just doubling it. Plus, then I can do sort of this instead, I guess. All right, let's test this, shall we? Let's hook this up and test it in some way. Gonna need a lot of these as well. Possibly should have done that bit first. Oh god, this is a terrible idea. This truly is an awful idea. I am not going to be surprised when this doesn't work. Let the record show. I'll make it neat later, alright? Let me just hook this up so that I can see exactly what is going on here. This one needs to be crude. This one needs to be water. Are they all working? Output full. Oh, that was quick. Yeah, that must be working if the output is already full. Ah, okay, and then I suppose we should hook these up to some storage tanks. Not the petroleum, but the light oil and the heavy oil maybe need to go up to storage tanks, just in case there is an issue. I should put this somewhere. I should put this where it's actually going to go. There's no benefit to anybody leaving it. So the heavy oil and the water goes in the top, the light oil comes out the bottom, but then the light oil goes into the next row and the petroleum comes out, and then the petroleum goes into the row after that. Yeah, so we can put this like... I mean, it already was not in a terrible place, to be honest with you. Kind of was in a decent place. Anyway. Because then all of these, we will need pumps here like this. So then the heavy oil here and here. Water, I'll just mimic water for now, because obviously I'm not going to put the landfill thing down. We've fallen foul of that in the past. Perfect. So then all of the heavy oil needs to come this way. These make a horrendous noise, and I hate it. And the light oil comes out into this, I suppose. Not quite in the right place. Into this. And then all of the petroleum comes out here. Oh, look at that. Oh, and there. That's not going to work. That needs to be like this, because they each need an output, of course. Whoa, 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 whoa. Having them loop around like that doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Like, there's no reason why some of it couldn't just go straight in, but it's probably for the best. Oh, these could all have storage tanks. Of course they could. I kept thinking the petroleum was going into the train, but it's not. And then, as I say, still just testing at this point. Obviously not enough coal. Oh, I didn't check how much coal this is still going to need. Oh god, here we go. Oh, it's 3 belts. Okay, whew! Yikes. That's fine. I'm okay with that. And then each one of these outputs just over 2 belts of plastic, which is kind of annoying, but not that annoying, I suppose. I can always put this into a, into a 16 to 16 balancer and just leave it. Just leave, I'm doing that somewhere else, where there's a huge balancer. Is it this one? No. Where am I doing that? Here. There'll be something for it. Okay. So, you're not really working that fast, are you? You're not getting enough petroleum in. Where is all the petroleum? Heavy oil is not working. Fluid ingredient shortage. It's probably because this one infinity pipe is not really permeating down enough. It's probably better to do this like this, because this will be actually how it's coming out of the out of the pipes. I never put those in the logistics network. That was good of me. Yeah, so that's loads of crude oil. So whether the crude oil is going to permeate all the way down the pipes is another question, because it uses so much of it. It does use a lot of it, doesn't it? It's actually not going to make its way down. Okay, got a bit of an issue there then, I suppose. And by a bit of an issue, I mean a huge issue. Because the crude oil won't even go all the way down to the bottom. It kind of is permeating down. Oh no, it's because the water was back, the water shortage. Oh wait, is it working now? Yeah, this is topping out too. Okay, I think it's fine. Nope, it's clearly not fine. It's clearly not fine. Pumps, but then that needs power, and now the whole thing's ruined. The whole system is ruined. I have to put bloody substations on each side instead. I knew this was going to be a nightmare. Just for the record, I knew this is going to be awful. I don't know if the pumps actually do anything here. I was under the impression that the pumps will then push it all to the end quite quickly, and then once this one is full it will go into here. But there's not really going to be any way to do that for sure until we do this all the way down the line. If this doesn't work, we'll have to break it up into 2 rows of 10 and merge the products in the middle. But this should force all of the oil to the end quite, and then that's, yeah, you see? So over on the right hand side there, it is pushing the oil down to the end, and then it's now full, so it's okay. But now we've got the opposite problem on the other side, where the fluids can't leave the pipe very quickly. So now we need pipes. Yeah, the pipes are too long, basically. Also, there's too much light oil in the system. Oh, this is going to be horrendous, isn't it? I hate fluids. I hate it. It worked at the 45,000 for a moment, because obviously that's the target here, 45,000 a minute. But actually reaching that consistently is going to be an issue because of the way fluids work. But I think we might just have to put down a whole bunch of pipes here and just say that that is ugly, but that is how it will have to work. Don't know if there's any way around it beyond installing a mod that helps the fluids work better, more better. Should just be using substations at this point. That does reach all of those. Oh, I somehow missed the power pole. Is there any benefit at all to just bugging these in tanks for now? I don't think that... I mean, there kind of is, I suppose. Kind of is. Well, they're all down. Fluid ingredient sorted, heavy oil. What are these saying? I mean, they're all working now. This is output full, for some reason. That might just be a... Sorry about the noise. Am I missing something here with the light oil? Have I not hooked all the light oil up properly? The light oil is the thing that's not coming out of the system properly. There's also not enough heavy oil coming into those machines in the first place, but... Yeah, this is not working, is it? This just simply is not working. This one's working. But as the pipes get full, the further down they get... I want to scrap the whole thing. But it might have to come to that. 2 rows of 10, maybe. It's close. It's 40,000. It's close, but obviously it's not good enough. We're wasting resources here. This is going to be the bulk of it. I'm going to have to just have a play and possibly split this into 2 so that this output here, and I'll fix the power poles as well, do something so that this one here is lined up in such a way that it's not like that, is it? The heavy oil goes into the heavy oil and then the light oil ties up on the other side, which will involve spacing these out a bit more. It'll be something like this instead. But this will be off-center ever so slightly, so that the heavy oil goes straight into this one, the light oil joins this one here like this. Maybe even not needing the pumps. We'll have to see. So then a light oil like that, and then the other petroleum here like this. And then they make their way down. What's that doing? Oh, that's there. Yeah. And then the products make their way down the line like that instead. But that doesn't help because it's the pipes that are full. Yeah, no, I've just realised that it's not the outputs of the machines that's at fault, it's the actual pipes. And these are the Krastorio 2 thick boy pipes as well. So, we're going to have to do something about this. I have used the fluid must flow mod before in a separate playthrough for... can't remember what I was doing. No, I don't remember what I was doing with that. I have used it, it's very good, it does work very well. But again, installing a mod to solve a problem that's a design issue more than anything doesn't seem very fair. It seems more like what I should probably do. I mean, it's funny that I've doubled this up and I'm saying bring 2 trains in, but I've not actually solved the issue of there being too many trains. It's more that I didn't want to waste a whole station for just 10 of these. If I'm bringing in 2 trains and I'm doubling it, then why don't I just have 2 separate lots of this? Like cut this off down in the middle and just have a row of 10 and a row of 10 and have each train, you know, the 2 different trains bring in. You know, just cut it off in the middle. I might look at that as well. That might work better. It's roughly this though, and this will be the plastic. So this will just be purely crude oil and coal in and plastic out. I could have a look at bringing just coal in and getting plastic out through coal liquefaction. Coal liquefaction in Krastorio is the same. There's also coke liquefaction. Turn coke into heavy oil and lots of light oil. That might be something worth looking at. I've not really properly ever looked at that before. But coke is wood and coal, so you can bring coal in. You can use the coal to make the steam. You seed it with some heavy oil, and then you get lots of heavy oil, light oil, and petroleum out. Whether that is more efficient, we don't know. I suppose the other option, which we didn't talk about, is to not use big chemical plants, is to actually use smaller ones, beacon smaller ones, to see if maybe doing this in some sort of weird 1-to-1 ratio would work, where we just build a module of this here, and then I don't think I actually even ever put normal science labs chemical plants, sorry, here like this. Yeah, give me this. Oh, you're telling me that doesn't actually then go into my inventory. Interesting. And then having one, you know, here, one here, and one here. So then this one does this bit, this one does this bit, and then this one does this bit. Whoops, turn my robots off. That might work, you know. That also might be something to look at. But this video's been going on for long enough, and I need to go, basically. So, thanks for watching. Any suggestions? Of course, you're welcome to leave them. I will have a play. Anything interesting that comes up, I will record and let you know about. But this is going to be the next big project, and it's going to be a right royal pain in the behind. So I hope you join me. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as you have been doing. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.